Thanks. So, is it going to start? Okay, so my talk, CFP, FAQ, HTH, which is a catchy title. It actually stands for Call for Proposals, Frequently Asked Questions, Hope This Helps. So I'm going to be talking a little bit about the general business of calls for proposals and how to talk at them, how to submit them. So what is a CFP? It's a call for proposal. It's normally a standard form that you fill in. It's online, you submit it. Once you've submitted it, the information that you put in goes to a bunch of superheroes who are reviewers. They're normally volunteers that are trying to figure out how to put on an event. They'll read your submission. They'll have a think about it. And then either it will fit or it won't. And they'll let you know if your talk is in or not in. How do you find one? So, lots of different ways. The classic answer of it depends. Depends what your interests are. Depends what your community is that you want to go talk to. I spend a lot of time on Twitter, personally, so I find lots of interesting events that people are talking at. I also do a lot of Googling. I found a great article by Phil Nash, who listed some other sources, such as CFP Land and Papercall. Also, Meetup is a great source if you want to go and speak somewhere. Meetup groups are always looking for speakers, so you can go and have a look there. What info will you need to fill in? So, it's a pretty standard set of information. You need to provide your name, your job title, who you work for, typically. You'll also need to provide a talk title. That's the first thing people see on the agenda. You'll need to provide a talk abstract. So what's the information that gives the audience a little clue about what you're talking about? And quite often in a CFP, you also have to provide things like, what are the benefits for the community? What are the audience takeaways? What will people learn from your talk? Question 4, what should you talk about? So there's lots of things you can talk about, lots of different advice. Personally, I try and talk about things that I care about. I think it's more authentic if it's something that you are passionate about. But it doesn't have to be all good. You don't only have to tell good news stories. You can talk about things that went wrong. You could do beginner talks, lessons that you've learnt. The best thing to do if you are trying to figure it out is just read what previous events have had as their talks and see if your talk might fit. Why you? Well, everyone has a story to tell. You might think that if you've got something you want to say, everyone's already said it. Like on that particular topic, everyone's already said everything there is to say, but that's not the case. No one's had your journey or your experience. No one knows exactly the things that you know, and maybe if you gave a talk, you might inspire someone else. You might help someone else with their question. You might be the one thing that inspires someone to solve their own problem. What if I'm too nervous? So, everyone gets nervous. Let me just say that up front. For me personally, I used to be terrified of public speaking. And then 2013, I actually gave the eulogy at my mum's funeral. And after that, I was like, that is the hardest talk I will ever do. Nothing's harder than that. So these days, I love giving talks. But if you are nervous, you can find lots of advice. There's lots of TED Talks. There's lots of online kind of videos you can watch, ways to overcome stage fright. So try it, but everyone gets nervous. What's in it for me? Fame, fortune. Probably not. I mean, you might get a few Twitter followers. Some events do pay. You might get an honorarium. Some people will pay for travel costs. For me, the main things are networking, getting to meet interesting people. Also, when I talk about a subject, it makes me reflect on how much I've learned on that particular thing. And also helping people. Helping people, inspiring people is the favorite thing that I get from doing talks. So, what if I'm rejected? Also happens all the time. So I'd say don't take it personally. There's lots and lots of cases where you'll submit and your talk won't quite fit. It doesn't fit the flow of the event. It's not quite the right theme. Maybe there's too many talks on the same topic. I got rejected from KubeCon this year. Submitted my talk, got rejected. It happens to everybody, and I'd say if it happens to you, submit somewhere else. Or if you want to ask for feedback from the organisers, you can ask, but just be kind, because sometimes organisers get a lot of submissions. What if I'm accepted? Well, now you actually have to write the talk. So for me, it's normally celebration followed by massive panic. But you should figure out when it is that your deadline is for the slides. Write the slides. This is my normal pattern. Joy, panic, write, rewrite, burn the candle at both ends, give the talk, yay, massive celebration and joy, and then I do it all over again. So, all I'd suggest to you from this talk is be brave, submit. What's the worst that could happen?